welcome to the next in our Women of the Bible series. Today we're looking at Mary Magdalene, again returning to the New Testament, and this will be the last woman that we draw from each of the four Gospels. In 2 weeks' time we'll be looking at ladies from the book of Acts. So Mary lived in Magdala, hence her name. It's now called El Mejdal, located south of the plain of Gennesaret, on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. It was an important agricultural, fishing and trade centre. Suffering from demon possession, Mary met Jesus face to face, an encounter that changed her life. Jesus cast from Mary the 7 evil demonic spirits that had ruled and ruined her life. You can read about that in Mark chapter 16 and verse 9. The Gospel writers distinguish demon possession from other diseases. The New Testament clearly describes its symptoms. For example, speechlessness in Matthew chapter 9 and verse 33. Violence in Matthew chapter 8 and verse 28. Blindness, Matthew chapter 12 and verse 22. Convulsions, Mark chapter 1 and verse 26. Foaming at the mouth, Luke chapter 9 and verse 39. Mary's demonic possession may have been physical, mental, or spiritual illness, or perhaps even immorality, although the common myth that she was perhaps a prostitute, there's certainly no biblical textual evidence for this. After her healing experience, Mary became a devoted follower of Christ. Unflappable in her faithfulness, she was counted among the small group of women who, at their own expense, served Jesus and his disciples as they preached and ministered to the masses. Mary became an important leader among the ministering women. Scripture mentions her 14 times. She proved to be a passionate follower who gave her time, energy and wealth to the Lord's work. She faithfully followed Jesus throughout his ministry, even when nearly everyone fled with fear after Christ's arrest. Mary lingered lovingly all the way to the cross and witnessed his painful death. Mary remained faithful to Jesus long after the others had given up. Early one morning, after the Jewish Sabbath ended, she crept through the pre-dawn darkness to the tomb. In her arms, she carried the customary spices to prepare the Lord's body for burial. The Lord richly rewarded Mary for her faithfulness to him. For when she arrived at the tomb, the heavy stone slab that sealed the 3-foot square entrance had been moved. To her horror, Mary discovered the tomb empty. But her grief turned to joy when she came face to face with Jesus, the risen Lord. In his incredible grace, God chose a faithful woman, Mary of Magdala, to proclaim to the disciples and to the world the glorious, life-changing news of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Just imagine her excitement. "I have seen the Lord," she shouted with unequaled enthusiasm to the small band of bewildered and unbelieving disciples. You can read about that in Mark 16 and verse 11. Mary Magdalene's devoted faithfulness to Jesus in her announcement of Christ's victory over death shouts to women, to men, to everybody, everywhere, how an encounter with Christ changes a life forever. Mary Magdalene personifies the many women for whom Christ has demonstrated his depth of mercy and forgiveness. Thanks very much.